Yo, it's your guy Bendu Ren, the illest film reviewer and fan in the galaxy, back again with my guy.
That's I'm young, dude.
And
That's-
we back with Star Wars Sunday.
yeah, the first time we're doing it on Facecam now.
Facts, bro, since the Rona took over the world and shit. I
Oh,
mean, everything.
dude. Well, it's crazy because I went on that trip to Florida, came back, and we were getting it all set up, and then everything just started going down. I was like, dude, I feel like Star Wars Sunday would never been the same, but we got it back up and running.
And I'm glad we're doing it now because I'm back into Star Wars fully. Like, Clone Wars pulled me back in because it was like, I was kind of off Star Wars. Like, we would just talk about it, but it was like, I wasn't really feeling it no more. But I've been
Yeah.
feeling Star Wars, and especially since I've been playing Fallen Order, which we'll talk about as well.
How far did you get into that so far?
I'm on Kashyyyk. I just talked to Tarful.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got the double bladed lightsaber now.
Yeah. Did you get the
Yeah,
double jump?
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I got a double blade, the double
I
sided
mean,
jump.
the double jump.
Oh no, I didn't get that yet because I can't beat Dathomir yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I met that. I spoiled myself before you even gave me the game. I know who that dude is. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that
Yeah.
story. He's a jerk.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, so are we gonna cover? What are we covering for the Star Wars Clone Wars episodes? Because it's been a while since we covered anything Star Wars.
yeah, I would say just like the episode so far. Like, what was the last Clone Wars episode we covered? I think did we cover? I think we covered right before she went to Mandalore, right?
No, I don't think we covered anything, dude.
Jesus Christ! All right, I guess
It's that long.
I guess we'll talk the whole John. So honestly, I'll just be like, obviously, the Mandalore Saga is what's standing out to us right now. But the standout episodes for me for the Clone Wars, honestly, was the Obi-Wan episodes with him and Anakin, like when they
Yeah.
the Bad Bunch
Oh yeah, the Bad Batch. Yeah.
or Bad Batch. My fault, Bad Batch.
Force 99. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's what it is. Like I like because they were pushing for a individuality with the clone troopers and stuff like that. I love clone troopers. You see my boy back here, right here.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, it's just I love clone troopers with Clone Batch 99, dude. It's like they had their individuality back in like the older Clone Wars episodes, but this is like a whole new different. They didn't like the clone troopers. It was just it was a whole new fresh kind of like aspect of the clone like legacy kind of.
Yeah. Like, I like the action sequences, honestly. Like, they stepped up like like the camera angles they use and everything, and how the overall look of the show now, like, it looked completely different, especially leading up to the second half of the
Yeah,
season. But God, the animation is fucking amazing, dude. It was beautiful.
yeah. Well, did you know that Ray Park did his scenes for the fight against Ahsoka? And Ahsoka,
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
yeah. And
Now,
that's what I like about it. It's like, all right, the scenes before where we saw Darth Maul not really using a double-bladed lightsaber, he's using the single-bladed lightsaber, was kind of like the regular CGI, scenes. But this was like actually mo-capped out. And I like that. I like that because I could, as soon as he started attacking Ahsoka and I saw the
the
twist of
the
the face.
hesitate, yeah.
Yeah, dude, and you could tell it was Ray Park, and that's what it is. It's like because when I met Ray Park back at Greater Philadelphia Comic Con, he was doing his little he was showing his lightsaber skills, and he was doing that exact move, and I was like, that's Ray Park. Like,
I'll trash him though.
no, have you
I'll
seen
try. I'll try. I'll
no,
trash him. I'll
you
trash him.
seen him on his Instagram,
No,
dude? That dude does flying kicks farther than you stand.
I don't need to.
Like,
I'll trash him.
yeah, you wish.
I'll trash him. But yeah, man, like the fight sequences was amazing. Like, honestly, I figured it was motion cap because of like you said, the little nuances in it. It looked very different. Like, Maul's choreography, it didn't look completely different, but you could definitely, like, that was Ray Park. Like, I knew that was Ray Park. But
Yeah.
but it was like just I got the duel between him and Ahsoka. Like I never realized how alike they are. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like both.
yeah. When he was explaining it, and as well, people have most likely seen the episodes. Hopefully, they have. You've been stuck in your house for how long?
Yeah.
But dude, just the talk between them, like saying that two greater powers were, that they were just tools, like to them, that even with the Jedi and the Sith, no matter what side you're on, they're two greater powers using you, and they'll toss you aside whenever they feel like it.
Yeah.
Like,
And
especially Ahsoka, man. Like and you know what? That episode where she gets blamed for blowing up the Jedi Temple. You
yeah.
know what Jedi I was kind of pissed at the most for, the way that they acted over it was Shakti. She literally was like she basically said that, hey, she did it. Didn't even didn't have evidence on her and anything like that. And I was just like, dude, like you're a Jedi, part of the Jedi Council, and you're jumping to conclusions. Like most of the time, you guys like actually go and. But I was like, that's one Jedi. I was like, dude, I was like, when I heard that she was gonna go protect Chancellor Palpatine, I was like, yeah, she did.
but even how Mace was treating her, when they were like talking about like Palpatine and everything, like how they basically knew at that point he was a Sith Lord, and he was
Yeah,
like, "Oh, this is Jedi business. You're a civil, like, bro. You're gonna need all the help you can get. So you probably shouldn't disrespect her like that. Like,
yeah,
she kind of just like captured somebody that even Obi-Wan couldn't. So you should probably give her some respect.
and you just had Anakin Skywalker helping, Palpatine, like watching over Palpatine, and one person that should be there with him
It was
is,
Ahsoka.
yeah,
I feel like if
dude,
Ahsoka was there, he wouldn't have turned.
yeah, no, not at all. They were like literally like siblings.
Yeah,
It was like he was the big brother, that was his little sister the entire time, and it's a shame that we didn't get, a like right before he turned, kind of like, I don't know, like it's just, I would like to see an alternate universe where Ahsoka took more, of a like stance in Anakin's life before he turned, and tried to sway him away, because by the time she got to him in Rebels, it was
too
too late.
late, way too late.
Yeah,
Only person that could sway him was Luke at that point.
yeah, and it was crazy at that point that, that when you're seeing that on the episodes of him like doing the last things for her, and then giving her the blue lightsabers, giving her own clone like Legion kind of, um it just showed that how much that he cared for her, that anything that she would invest her time in, that he would help her out, even though she wasn't a part of the Jedi Academy. And that's, you can definitely tell all the flaws between the Jedi Academy, bro. Like with these episodes. It
My question is though, like, so does she know he becomes Vader at that point? Because in Rebels she didn't know.
No, she did. She all like in the Shattered point, she only heard voices, and so did Maul. She didn't know that. Like at this point, I think her main concern is just getting out the situation that she's in, because I
Yeah.
feel like she doesn't know anything else besides that. Besides, the Fives turning against everybody, and trying to release the secret of the inhibitor chip. Which, dude, so many times Palpatine's plans were about to be foiled, like with the power of luck.
No, the
His
power of stupidity, because the Jedi
yeah,
are stupid.
yeah, dude, like so many times that like Tup, or was it Tup or somebody else, and Fives and stuff like that were trying to release the secrets of, I'm just like, dude, I'm like, it's just crazy how oblivious the Jedi were. The only person that knew was Yoda.
But
But
even he
I
was
know,
acting like a punk. He was like, "Oh, we gotta wait and see. We don't want to make people mad, bro. Look, dog, go in there, take him, pull him out his office, kicking and screaming if you have to, because he tweaking. Y'all, because they knew the whole time something was up with him.
yeah,
With
no,
Palpatine,
yeah,
the whole time.
but that's what it is that they didn't know it was him, because Yoda was trying to figure that out in the one episode of Clone Wars. Remember, he was
Yeah, I
trying to
remember
figure out who the enemy was, and he was literally right there about to get him. But when Dooku and Sidious found out that he was doing that, they said, you know what, we're gonna manipulate it, and we're gonna, since he's using a dark side temple to try to find me, we're gonna use our dark side against that, to basically conceal ourselves. Yoda could have found out, but he knew exactly what was going to happen, and he just didn't want to stop it because he knew that at this point that an era was going to end and a new hope was going to. He knew it all along.
You ready for this?
What's that?
You know what I want on Disney Plus?
What's that?
I want a short, limited series, maybe like 5 episodes of the adventures of, you ready? Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker, starring Rosario Dawson and Sebastian Stan.
That would be cool. And that's where I feel like the sequel trilogy, like even every time I've revisited the prequels of the original trilogy, I feel like the sequel trilogy, I like it. I like the sequel trilogy. Like I can't hate on Star Wars like that. I have to accept it because it's Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars. I surround myself around Star Wars. It's just, it's like when every time I think of Luke, I don't think like, dude, he knew he was, he knew he was the hope of the galaxy. Mm-hmm. And when the Emperor came back, in Legends, like he did turn to the dark side, but he came back because he knew he was the hope of the galaxy. He was starting up this new Jedi temple and all that. It was his idea. And, I feel like they didn't give him a supporting character like Kyle Katarn to help him out with his Jedi temple, because that's a main, literally Kyle Katarn was a big influence on Luke Skywalker and vice versa, because dude, literally Kyle Katarn turned to the dark side, started to use the dark side, but he was swayed away from it, and he learned from that. He was a stormtrooper. He found out his dad died and that it was, the Empire that did it. And so that's why he became a Jedi,
Sure.
And I don't know. I feel like every time I watch the Clone Wars, I'm like, I can't, it's hard for me to accept the sequel trilogy, but I have to.
Yeah, and honestly, I the more I've been reading up on it and everything, I feel like I like Finn. I still like Finn despite the ups and downs with his character. Still not a fan of Rey. I feel like they need to do not necessarily retcons, but they need to do give her the Clone Wars treatment. You feel me?
Yeah.
Anakin, because Anakin, the Clone Wars made up so much that was lacking with his characters in the films, and I feel like Rey needs that same treatment. But
they literally used Hayden Christensen's lines from Revenge of the Sith, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Yo,
cool."
that's where I'm like, "Yo, that's what I was thinking. Like, yeah, maybe you're all right. Maybe she does know something. Ahsoka does know something, but at the same time, is the way that Rebels takes it out and shows it is that." Basically, when she's on the Ghost, I think it was, or she was on the Ghost, and she was doing the senses with Kanan.
Yeah, she tripped out and everything.
That's when she knew. That's when she actually knew, and and when they basically went off again, they faced each other, dude. Shatter is just I like these last episodes that we're getting. I wish that
Anakin, I'm not going to leave you again. Then you will die. That's one of the best scenes in Star Wars for me, bro.
No. The best one is, do you know what I've become?
Oh, yeah.
In the temple, and they're all going on their separate paths. That's what I want. I want because that's where Star Wars and the mystical part comes out. I like the science part because there's always science in Star Wars. It's science.
Time travel in Star Wars thanks to Rebels.
Yeah. And I like the fact is that there's still a mystery to the Force. No matter how you put it, even Qui-Gon put it in a good way when Yoda visit Dagobah. That the midichlorians that you study are what you perceive as the Force, but the greater Force is what binds you with basically the galaxy, you know? Like, it was just, like, I was like, all right, so we're getting kind of a fan service, but at the same time it fits perfectly, you know? And that's where fan service goes right.
Yeah, definitely. Like all fan people just automatically chalk up like fan service is a bad thing. It's not. Like when it's done
No, you,
well, it's really good.
yeah. So, what do you think the next episode of Clone Wars will be about?
Um, she can't go back to Coruscant. Like that's a no go. She can't. It's a lot of they're kind of boxed into the types of stories they could tell with her right now. Literally, it would have to be about her and Rex and or escaping and then eventually going their separate ways, trying to save as many troops as they can from the inhibitor chips. But it's not much they can do. Like the blunt of the story to me has been told. I'd be surprised if they gave you more. They might give you some Maul. You feel me? Some more Maul.
Yeah.
Because
So
where was he at by the end of the episode? He was still fighting, right?
he was still fighting. Yeah, he was still wrecking.
Yeah,
Dude, he was cutting arms. He was cutting off arms, dude. We were seeing shoulder pads fall off of. Yeah, dude, it was awesome. My biggest question right now, since we were introduced to Clone Force 99, what happened to them after that? Because that is where cloning is at its best. Because the Kaminoans, like this was like the first kind of like they knew how to clone, but this was like the first humanoid cloning that they were doing, and like as they went along, that's how Clone Force 99 came like about.
Mm-hmm.
So did they become like Imperial like commandos kind of? Like could we get a video game possibly from EA that it was like on Clone Force 9? Because we have Republic Commando, which we see the Republic Commandos from that game when Savage Opress killed the Jedi Master and Padawan.
Mm-hmm.
The characters from Republic Commando were on the ship and they were delivering the dead bodies of the Jedi. But could we get an Imperial Commando on that?
See, I could see them because they really didn't have loyalties to the Republic like that, aside from just fighting.
Yeah.
So I could see them like going their own way, like escaping from the Empire and becoming like a cell of the rebellion eventually or something. Like
Yeah.
there's so many areas you could take them, or like you said, do a video game. I would honestly do like a story-based video game with them, like with Fallen Order, but I would also I would make it a multiplayer game as well, to where you can switch between the kind of like GTA a little bit, where you can switch between the characters and their different strengths. Why? Actually, no, not GTA, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and make it kind of like that, but more like shoot 'em up type of game.
Yeah.
But it's so much you could do with these characters now,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. I'm begging because like I know people love like the battles in Star Wars, but I'm the Jedi guy. I'm the like Force guy. I love the Sith and Jedi, and it's like I feel like live action, like it's been whack, especially with the sequel trilogy. Like it's been very lacking. So that's
what
why
I'm saying. Like, I like the saber battles from the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy more than like that cool throne room scene from Last Jedi, but the choreography was just so off. Like if you slow it down, dude, you could see all the flaws in it. But when I watch like episode 1 in the Dual Fates, dude, like I look at it, I'm like, dude, they have Liam Neeson, who's like how tall is he? He's like 6 foot something.
Yeah, he's tall.
They have like Ray Park going against each other, but they're like totally like just like working with it, like, and they're doing like there's no real flaws that I see in the choreography with that, and it's all like believable, but at the same time it's like, yo, these characters have force, like they literally can do a lot more, and that's what I like about like most of the lightsaber battles. Like the ending for Revenge of the Sith, the ballerina dances that they were doing,
yeah, like
but at the same time it's like,
oh, go ahead.
there's some aspects of that were pretty cool. Like I like the scene where they're on the lava and they're on the little like robots and they're just going off on each other. Like,
yeah,
dude, it's like I want more like that. I want more where it's like, like it doesn't feel like a character's overpowered to too overpowered that a lightsaber like couldn't be blocked or something. Like, yeah, of course, like maybe like Vader and stuff like that, because Vader, he was a monster basically.
But I want more of the Knights of the Old Republic cinematic fight scenes, like the fight scenes like that. Like
Yeah,
specifically when the Jedi when they attacked the the temple and everything, like that was like power we've never seen. Like he's throwing this dude through like brick walls and everything, and they're like, "For dude," I'm like, "Yo." And it's like that's why I'm like, if y'all not going to do Old Republic live action, stop holding it up and go ahead and let Filoni and these guys do it animated. At
yeah,
least let them do something with it, because it's like
and that's
I want to see
that's
those
why.
big battles between the Sith army and the Jedi army back then, like just incredible
Yeah,
action sequences with lightsabers, which we haven't, we never had. We've only had it in like the fan made films, really.
yeah. Now, the problem is that the time period, the time period from what we've given in the kind of like the books and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
is that there's like about like maybe like 10,000 years that they could fit in, but also at the same time is like I feel like they didn't give it enough time for them to actually like I want to see that, but we've only seen one battlefield from the Old Republic in Rebels, which is Malachor 5. Like, will that be the only battle, like the big battle that we'll get out of that? Like, because Mandalore was a big key, battle. The mass shield generator went off there, or that was Malachor 5, yeah, Malachor 5. I mean, and will we get like the characters that we've had before, because they were really really good, kind of like kind of like characters. They were good characters, to work with, like Darth Nihilus, Darth like Treya, or Kreia, um, Scion. Like they were all good characters to work with. Honestly, the Old Republic games kind of to me were like a really good pinnacle of what came before. Not so much of the newer Old Republic game, because I feel like that like it just it it felt a little bit out, like the way that they styled it and everything. It felt like out of the loop. Like everything looked a lot more like technologically advanced than what we got in the like prequel trilogy. And I'm like, whoa, like that's kind of like out there,
Facts. I
But
feel that.
the story's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's it's like honestly, man. Like I'm not. I'm well. Obviously, I'm not glad this Corona thing happened, but like that they can take this time now to just think, think everything through. Like because they're not like Marvel. Marvel's literally pissed that they can't film right now, dude. Like they got pissed at Sony because Sony pushed back Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So they had to push back the whole schedule because the films were going to tie in and everything. But I actually think that's how they're going to actually be able to slip Daredevil in there. But that's another conversation for another show. But yeah, so they just need to take this time. Like Kathleen, I know we talk about this all the time. People probably hate us talking about this. She needs to go.
Yeah.
She needs to go. I heard that
She's literally
story
going
about.
behind Bob Iger and Bob Chapek to do this Russian doll thing.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
you
well,
know, because you can't take her off of anything, because then you have the whole other side that that likes like female led stuff. Well, that want female led stuff. And it's not even that they like it; it's that they want it. And if you take Kathleen Kennedy out of that, they're like, oh, well, why'd you fire a woman? While she's making because she's making a Star Wars a woman that's leading a role like type of series.
yeah.
But it's like you kind of just push that out there. You don't even have a story yet. You don't have any type of outline. You don't, you're just finally picking somebody to do that, and you're already pushing it out there on the media, because you want to get it out there so people know that you
And
have
they
an
were going
idea.
to say no.
Yeah, is that if Bob Iger said no now and said no, we're shutting that down, people would be outraged.
And this,
And that's
it's
where, yeah, good.
I was gonna say they have an image problem with this. It's not that they don't want to make female characters. It's just that the way you're currently structuring, like literally, people are not acknowledging the fact that she has been failing at her job. Like, yeah, the movies have been making money, but that's because of the name Star Wars. Like, she literally hires directors and fired them. Chris and Lord and Miller, that was a fiasco. Like, how do you not know the vision you want for your films? prior beforehand, and this just goes more into what people have been saying. She had no plan. She just walked into Star Wars like it was just another Hollywood film she was producing, instead of like, hey, these are films that I have to take the time, I have to
Yeah.
actually build an arc for these 3 films. I can't just say, all right, JJ, you go do your thing, because I think I think that's what JJ thought what was going to happen, and then like she basically said, all right, Ryan, go make the movie you want to, and he was like, all right, yeah, JJ, middle finger to you, and
Yeah.
the rest is history.
Like, honestly, I really feel like that JJ, if he had, because remember when we were first talking about JJ doing a whole trilogy to himself, and that he would have had writer's block at one point, and like I honestly, I feel like if him and Colin Trevorrow came together and kind of matched their ideas, I feel like we would have got a better story than what we've got. I feel like it's just that Kathleen Kennedy, she doesn't realize that this was like 42 years in the making. 42.
42.
Answer.
42.
But,
shout out 42 podcast.
Yeah. But it's been like, this is like literally like a fine bottle of wine. You can't just sit there and play football with it. You can't play. The glass will definitely break, and then now you don't have wine. You have to take it carefully and realize the steps that you're taking. It's not the like what your ideologies are. It's what can fit into the Star Wars. You can't just throw in a character and say, hey, yeah, she's going to be more powerful, and not tell us,
And you don't like it because she's a woman.
Yeah, no, and that's what it's just, I feel like they just don't have she doesn't have the capability of running Lucasfilm, and they definitely need somebody else in the seat.
Because Dave Filoni just showed you female characters can be done, and he did it with a character that originally was not liked. Ahsoka was not liked, and now she's one of the household characters.
I did not like Ahsoka at all.
At all, bro. When I first I did not.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I did get an action figure of her when all the Star Wars, Clone Wars stuff was first coming out. But I had an Anakin Skywalker and an Obi-Wan, and I play with them more.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like, dude, why did I get rid of that action figure? Dude, that's what I like. Even Ahsoka in Rebels, though. Even in Rebels, she was a boss. It was like you kind of saw that.
When she came on the scene and trashed the Inquisitors, that's when I became a fan.
Oh yeah.
She wrecked them.
But that's a big thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Filoni's definitely retconning that Ahsoka book, because in the book, the way that she gets the name Fulcrum is different than she basically used that flat out right in front of Vader.
Really?
Yeah, remember she said, "I'm using the name Fulcrum." No. Somebody's trying to contact you under the name Fulcrum. Remember?
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
And now the Empire doesn't know who Fulcrum is.
All right, yeah, facts though. I mean, that's kind of like a. Yeah, actually, no, they should, because it came over like transmitters and everything. They should know. Yeah, that's actually a plot hole now.
Yeah, facts. And that's what I like. But at the same time is, what Vader's going through, like what Vader's doing, I feel like that's really like a grain of salt to him, like maybe if he came across the name Fulcrum and thought hard, but I honestly, I really liked this episode, especially like basically, Captain Rex, the OG, he's probably he's one of my favorite clones for sure. I liked Commander Cody, but we don't even know what happens to Cody after Order 66, man. After he did everything on Utapau.
Telling you, if they could do that freaking get that Obi-Wan show off the floor like that, and I'm not. You're trying to do a female-led show and you can't even get Obi-Wan off the ground.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like what they do is they keep like after the Mandalorian, I felt like they were like, yo, we hit gold on these shows. Like, let's just start saying what kind of shows we can make. Let's make a Jar Jar show. Let's make what's that, a Gonk Droid show? Like, dude, we could totally do that. Let's just start pushing like names of shows out that we can do. And if it sticks to the fan base, Let's do it. And I feel like that's what they were doing with the sequel trilogy is that, oh, this side's mad, but this side's mad also. Well, let's meet in between and we can fix this.
Well, I think with the shows, they were actually bouncing around good ideas because remember they were bouncing
Yeah.
around that casting. Like that's how we got casting because they had good ideas, and I felt like she was just in the room one day. They were bouncing around show ideas. She was like, "Let's do a female-led show," and there was like a fart in the room. Everybody's just looking at her like, "Yeah, no, oh no, don't bring the sequel trilogy stink to the Mandalorian."
Like, yeah, of course, like, I wouldn't mind a female-led show, but the way that Kathleen Kennedy puts stuff out there and the way that she, ends up getting writers to write her characters that, that these people are writing out, I feel like they're not plausible. I feel like they have no existence. Like if they do a good treatment to write, maybe like with in-betweens and stuff like that, and like, her like kind of working with her lightsaber and stuff like that.
Or after.
Yeah, or even after, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like something that, kind of gives her like a
bloopers. But I don't think you're definitely not getting a Disney Plus show with any of them because Oscar Isaac's been straight out torpedoing Disney. What's home with John Boyega's been trolling him like he like literally has been trolling Disney. Like he's been calling them the film trash and all that, bro. Like he has no picks, bro. Yeah. And Daisy Ridley just acting bougie. She was like, "I'm too good for Star Wars now." Like,
yeah, but and that, I feel like if the whole entire series was treated right and they were treated better, that maybe we could have had something like more. Maybe we would have saw like a continuation of the story. But at this point, like they're all basically Harrison Ford.
Yeah, but it's like they're not good actors. Except for Oscar Isaacs. He's the only solid actor. Like Oscar Isaacs is world class. That's the only but I still don't, but it's not like he doesn't like Star Wars. It's just that he didn't like the way the films were handled. I'm pretty sure Oscar Isaacs is actually a fan, if I'm not mistaken. But John Boyega is too. But it's like I hate that with Harrison Ford too, because it's like, bro, you wouldn't be here if you didn't have if Star Wars ever happened for you, bro.
Yeah, facts.
Like the only reason why he got what's the oh my gosh, why am I forgetting the name of that other film franchise he was in?
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. The only reason why he got that was because of Star Wars, and Tom Selleck dropped out.
Oh yeah,
and he had the name recognition from George Lucas for playing Han Solo.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, it's like I don't know, man. And Harrison Ford is just a whole other character. He's kind of annoying.
Yeah,
but his wife is hot.
Yo, you always trying to hit on somebody else, yo. I feel like every show it's just a different character gets put up.
I mean, his wife is hot, bro. I can't help it.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah. So, yeah, Disney, like they just need to right the ship. I feel like Bob Iger dropped out at the wrong time, but obviously he did it at the right time, and I'm not going to go into why he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars, it just needs to rebound, like continue down the Mandalorian path, continue down the Clone Wars path.
Bob Iger because he's trying to run into politics.
Well, Trump asked him to be part of his cabinet the first time around, 2016. So that's probably what he's preparing himself for now.
Disney owns the government. But
that's actually one of the monopolies that people were worried about. Like the more I've been reading about the Telecommunications Act of 1999, that's actually what's allowing Disney to become the monopoly they are now. But I'm not going to go into politics here. But that was just I found that interesting because it's like that's why you see like only like 4 companies owning all the news media and everything nowadays. But that's a whole other conversation. But I think Bob Iger dropping out is actually people like to make the conspiratorial like, oh, he knew about Corona. It's like, no, he's probably about to be part of Trump's cabinet, his new cabinet when he gets reelected. Because honestly, like I think he's trying to cycle out a lot of them, a lot of those clowns that's in there now. So but back to Star Wars.
Yeah. So what did you feel about the first episode of the Siege of Mandalore? Like,
First ep-
was
first episode was cool. I liked it.
now like, do you think it was movie quality the way that I was thinking of it?
Yeah, yeah,
Because the
yeah.
way I was like, it, honestly, like it had a lot of weight to it, and even just that beginning scene where like they're flying in the Mandalore on the gunships, and all you see is literally like the Mandalorians are like, all right, jumping out of the out of the gunships to go attack the other Mandalorians,
Hmm.
and we did get Gar Saxon from
Yeah, Sabine's mom was in there too.
Sabine's mom,
Yeah.
and even Kanan Jarrus was in the
Oh yeah,
what do
he
you call
was. He was. He was in the phone
it? Dude,
call.
it was like a full on.
Oh, his master
That's
was
what I
there
love.
too. What was her name? Depa
Uh,
Delapa.
yeah,
I love
and
his master. She's one of my favorite female Jedi. She's a badass.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like characters like that are like, we've had a lot of characters that were great.
Yeah, like
It's just it's Clone Wars. Clone Wars definitely gets me reinvigorated to watch the prequel trilogy.
yeah, like
You
I might
know,
go back and rewatch Revenge of the Sith. Honestly,
yeah, yeah. Not I like Attack of the Clones, but not so much as like
I hate sand.
yeah, I love Revenge of the Sith. Like honestly, it's definitely one of my top fives. I have to put it in there because it's just every time I watch the Clone Wars, I'm just like, dude, I'm like it fits in. Like Clone Wars is now starting to slowly fit. Like well, not slowly, but it's now starting to fit like a puzzle piece. You can't have one without the other. It's just like crazy to think that all the background scenes that we're finally getting are being filled in. All
They
these.
even, they even had Paul Bettany in there too. His character from Solo.
Yeah, yeah,
Dryden
yeah,
Voss.
yeah, dude. When Maul was talking to him, yeah,
And I think they said there was a character from the books. I forget which book it was. I don't know if it's still canon, but like he was one of the crime kingpins. So it was Dryden Voss, the guy in the middle, and it was a guy to the left in the hologram. I forget
was he
what it. Huh?
Sun
You said
Black
what?
Sun or Black
No,
Sun?
he's so Maul is Crimson Dawn, right?
Yeah,
I think it was Black Sun
was it the Black Sun?
because it wasn't the Pike people, it wasn't the weird people that
Yeah, no, it was probably Prince Chizor.
Prince. Yes, him, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, his character in the expanded universe or Legends is probably one of the craziest characters that I've. He's almost like kind of like Thrawn, but instead of tactically like on the battlefield, he's like kind of like tactically in like politics. Like he's literally trying to turn Vader. I mean, he's trying to turn Luke into like kind of like I think he was trying to turn him into like one of his people instead, like as like a person for him instead of having Vader like take him in for Palpatine. So like, dude, like they were all like him, Prince Caesar, and Vader were all like working against each other to get to Luke and stuff. Dude, it was crazy.
Dog. And you said those stories aren't canon.
No, no.
That's why. Yeah, I think that's what the guy. I want to say it was Star Wars Theory I was watching maybe, but
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know, man. It's like they have so much, like so many things, so many things they can do. And honestly, that crime universe, and I know you're gonna fight me on this. I don't care because I think Ryan Johnson will be perfect for that. Perfect with Looper, dog. Just look at Looper.
Yeah.
Perfect,
I
perfect.
feel like if he had a set, of what he is able to use and given a limit on what, so he doesn't mess up canon.
Mm-hmm.
But if he was given, a kind of like a tray that like he could use stuff and lay out what he's what he's allowed to use and what he's not allowed to use, I feel like he could definitely make a good movie.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because you got to take the fact that Kathleen Kennedy basically told him, "Go ahead and make whatever you want to." People never take that into account when they talk about Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, yeah. And so I could definitely see maybe like a kind of, because I like that Mandalorian episode where they were basically like the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
That was kind of, you got an idea of like a crime syndicate, type of deal. You know, and I feel like if we had a crime type, maybe like a Star Wars 1313 type thing, that would be pretty cool. That's what I'm saying. We need more outside stories.
I feel you. I need some more Jedi stories, bro. You already know. That's my jam right there. Is that?
Yeah, but that's what I'm like. Where do the Jedi lead off after the sequel trilogy?
Yeah, true.
Like, and Legends, dude, they actually lived on, and they actually ended up fighting in a second Sith war, against the Sith that came off from the outer regions. It's just, I feel like at this point we don't know. Like, the only thing they can really do to show us good battles now with Jedi and Sith is Old Republic.
See, I got to talk to you about the Star Wars fan film that I have in the tuck.
Okay, yeah, we could
like that John, because that's something like, because I kind of like, who's the guy that did the Vader show?
Star Wars Theory.
Yeah, there's so many Star Wars shows out there, bro. But
yeah, you got Comics Explain, or not Comics Explain, Star Wars Comics Explain or something. Star Wars Comics. You have
Thor Skywalker.
I like Star Wars Reading Club. That's one. Look at one channel that I love because every time he talks, he uses Grand Admiral Thrawn for his his portrait, and dude, and he covers a lot of stuff. I like Eckhart's Ladder, but Eckhart's Ladder goes into like a lot of like the small tidbit details and stuff. But I like it. It's all honestly, all them channels. If you ever get a chance, check them out, dude. It's
for me. I watch Stupendous Wave, Star Wars Theory, and Thor Skywalker. But Thor Skywalker, I like him, but he goes too much into the like whining about the sequel trilogy. Like, bro, I get it. The sequel trilogy is trash. I get it.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. I think we need to start cutting that out of our conversations, because I feel like me and you be going at it like for the dude. We're like them people that are like, yo, dude, there's somebody in the alleyway. Let's go beat him up. He's a sequel trilogy.
Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but Thor Skywalker's dope. He's actually the guy I told you about that did the kind of like alternate, like what if Anakin didn't turn but Obi-Wan did. I wish somebody would animate that thing, man, because Obi-Wan had the mask of Revan.
Yeah,
it was so sick.
I saw that too. Yeah. Dude, like there's so many good Star Wars chat. Like I like Star Wars theories, like alternate universes and stuff like that he's created, because honestly, he covers it in the detail that I like, and I like Thor Skywalker's as well. Like they need to start, like, if we had animations of this, like kind of like a what if series on Star Wars, that would be dope.
Yeah. Like, and it's like that's honestly something I want to do, but like just with the film I've been working on, like, is like a Star Wars fan film, because it's weird. The film I have, it's Star Wars, but at the same time it's not Star Wars. Like literally, it's opening up and it's kind of tongue in cheek too. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'll literally tell you about it when we go off air. But I'm gonna go ahead and close it out now, unless you want to talk about something else.
Yeah, no, I think we did pretty good, even though we were kind of like shifting everywhere. I feel like we did get like the key elements out of the Clone Wars episodes that we watched. It's been a while since I watched the Coruscant episodes. I like some of it. I just feel like
you already know I love that. I love those episodes too, by the way.
It was cool, yeah, but I feel like Tracer was a little bit annoying. But I just didn't like how they kept escaping out of the Pike's prison, and then they kept getting captured again. Yeah. Oh man, I'm like, this is like a scrambled egg that's been cooked too long. But
only thing I wish was different. I wish it would have been Maul that came to get Ahsoka and not Bo-Katan.
Why would it be Maul?
Because I feel like Maul.
Oh, using her to get Anakin to come.
Yeah. Before you leave, by the way, we need to talk about it, yo. I love when she was like, You lucky Anakin didn't come here, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, Anakin would have wrecked him, dude, if he came there. Yo, him and Obi-Wan together would have wrecked him, bro.
Yeah. Dude, Anakin alone, I feel like would have trashed him. Like, and that's what it is. Like, yo, it's like Maul. He's a person that like he oversteps his boundaries, but since the way that he uses the dark side, he knows that there are no boundaries for him. Is that he's not afraid. He doesn't use he uses other people's fear to feed him and his anger and like the way that he's ferocious and in his attacks and everything. That's what I like about Maul. Maul is probably one of the best villains that you could probably get in the Star Wars. You know, Vader is probably the pinnacle. You know, the pinnacle of what you can get. He's like, dude, he's like the unrelenting force, but you also have the aggressive. Palpatine's like kind of like the dude in the shadows, where he's like, you kind of don't know too much about him, but
like
if
the Thanos.
Yeah, he's like the Thanos. Yeah, he's like at the end of Avengers, dude, in 2012, where he's just sitting there in his chair and he sits there and smiles.
I'd say that Palpatine is the Thanos. If we're comparing the villains to the MCU, I would say Palpatine is like the Thanos. I'd say that Vader is like the Killmonger.
Yeah.
And I'd say that Maul, you ready for this? Is like the Zima.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what it is, you know. I think a lot of things that Maul picked up off of Sidious was definitely like manipulation.
Yeah.
Manipulating what the bigger like outlooks of stuff and using that as his kind of a cover, you know.
Even with him not being his master no more, he still learns from him from like being an unwitting pawn to his master scheme. Like even when he got captured, he was like, he's a genius. Yeah, because he was like, that's what I would have done. Like he was like, damn, but it's like, so like in a way, Palpatine is still his master, even though he's not really, but like he's still teaching him, you know, the ways of the dark side.
But since Palpatine, Darth Maul knew Sidious was the representative of Naboo, you know, ever since Phantom Menace, even before Phantom Menace, he knew everything. Mm-hmm. He knew it all. You know, he knew that that Palpatine and his master were, you know, doing stuff from behind, you know, under masks. And it's funny that, you know, Plagueis' name was Hugo Damask, and, you know, Damask, you know, what? Hugo Damask, like Damask, he owned a company. He owned a big company for like, I think it was producing chips or something like that. Something technologically wise, you know. But yeah, it's cool to see that Maul kind of learned the way that the Sith were doing stuff, and that, you know, Vader's kind of a whole different story. Vader, since he had a playground to mess around with, he used all that to his advantage. But yeah, so.
All right, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Emphasis on the comments. Let us know, you know, what you guys are thinking about it. Let us know if we're tripping for liking it so much. Let us know if we're not tripping, or just pop in there and say hi. Well, we'll take a hi too. So thanks for tuning in, and peace. Be easy.
See you.